Hello, everybody. It's me again, your favorite smelly caddy. I've made this joke almost every last few videos in a row. I'm going to stop now. I'm not going to stop. So, I saw something a little, out of the way, a little obscure, question mark. I watched a bad children's film. Shocking, I know, a furry watching a bad kids movie. It's almost like there's a genre of people on YouTube watching them and talking about them, making fun of them. Oh, you're in one of these already. Your fault. So, I watched a little film called 100% Wolf. It sucked. Why did I bother watching this? Well, a couple of things. I'm me, and I'm an easy mark for certain kinds of movies with certain plots. If your plot involves transforming into an animal or a furry adjacent type thing like that, you're going to get my attention. And this movie's entire sell was, hey, werewolf kid. But he's actually a were-poodle. That sounded funny. Trailer looked okay. Like, this is not a Disney. This is not a Pixar. This is not a DreamWorks. This is not an Illumination. This is not a, there's going to be a bar of animation studios, and we're going to keep going. We're in the sub-basement, going. We've left the country. We're now in France or Australia or wherever this was made. And here's their basement. There's this movie here. So, visually it doesn't look that bad. Like, I've seen much cheaper, crummier kids movies visually. Like, this is not like herky-jerky, 2 frames animation, like Golden Films level garbage. No, it's not that bad. This is cheap, foreign country animation, CGI kids movie level. But it's on the higher end of that. Like, not that much higher, but a little higher. Like, not the toilet. We're sitting on the rim. We're not in the bowl. So there's at least that. Rest of the movie, however, so I guess let's just talk about the plot as it is. I chose a kind of New York because this made me think of like a better kids movie involving animal dog stuff. Oliver and Company. Pretty good kids movie. 80s Disney stuff going on. I think Billy Joel soundtrack for a lot of it. Had a poodle. I think that's enough comparison point to bring it up with this movie. This movie, you got a kid who is a part of a family of werewolves. Cool. But they act like they're a superhero team for some reason. I'm not sure where this was going with this decision. Like, they're helping people and saving humans and not, eating them like you usually expect a werewolf family to do, but okay. And the dad werewolf is like, hey, my annoying child, you are going to grow up to be a big, strong werewolf and lead our werewolf pack. And I am telegraphing my death in 3, 2, 1, and dead. And there's the uncle, who's a jackass. This is not exactly unexpected. The kid was annoying too, but he is a jackass. Then we fast forward a little bit. Plot happens, and the kid is now an annoying teenager who has a very generic cartoon CGI boy face, which makes him look like all the other ones. And today's his big day, his bar mitzvah, where he turns into a werewolf instead of getting a yarmulke. So, it's all ready to do that, and whoopsie doodle, you're a poodle. And his family are complete garbage. They immediately just throw him to the not quite literal wolves. He has to go find a MacGuffin to regain his family honor, and his family don't help him at all. They are completely fine with letting him just be stuck as a poodle, as a little toy dog, helpless, can't talk, he can't talk for reasons. We'll get to that. Helpless, stuck in the elements. And nobody bothers to even try helping him, aside from the maid. The maid is the only one who gives 2 flying shits about this kid. These people suck. And I'm not even getting to the uncle who framed him for whatever and trying to kill him and all that stuff. Like, that's obvious. Like, evil family member. That's expected. The whole family is just crap because they're so inactive. They don't do anything. Like, our nephew who is going to lead the pack is an embarrassing poodle, and we're not going to bother trying to help him or trying to fix the situation. We're just going to let it sit here until a timer goes off, and then I guess the uncle who'd been kind of running the show in absentia for a few years can just resume doing it. Okay. Like, this Game of Thrones has, like, they're expecting the families and all the people in that to be garbage. Not the kids' movie. This is weird and unpleasant. Anyways, so our poodle boy has to go off into the wide open world of a generic city and try to find the MacGuffin, which is being held by a ice cream man who's a werewolf freak and runs a werewolf-themed, like, kitsch House of Horrors tourist stop place. And he has a pet monkey, or he has a stuffed monkey pet that he talks to, and he's crazy, and he also has money somehow for anti-werewolf detection stuff. It's kind of weird, isn't it? Like, I'm not just being me here, like, that's weird. There's a lot of weird stuff happening in this movie, and it's not adding up to anything particularly good. It's just kind of strange for strange's sake. Like, I like weird, but I like a little weird that leads somewhere. So, werewolf kid meets, poodle kid meets a bunch of street dogs, goes on, specifically one street dog, and starts to have kind of a romantic subplot with the dog, which, okay, that's normal for these sort of things, like, it's the bit with the squirrel from the Sword in the Stone. I understand that. This movie ends in a weird spot with this, though, so I'll get back to that. They have a little adventure, they try to find the MacGuffin thing, they do, and then they get captured by the bad guys, and hey, surprise, your uncle's evil and wants to kill you. Big shocker. So, and they're thrown into dog jail in a pound, which is run by the uncle's subordinate lady, who's kind of doing like an Elsa She-Wolf thing, sorta, but not really. Has a Doberman dog who is kind of a weird race trader dog. I'll get back to that. And there's some silly side dogs that become a little team here. One of them does have a funny bit. It's like a little chihuahua with a giant ass head, and its head just like does 360s and it goes into kill mode. The best jokes in the movie are involving this little dog losing its shit and trying to murder things. That's kind of fun. Things advance, and we find out the villain's main plot is beyond just, taking control. It's to kill all dogs. Yeah. Not just like magically make them go away or send them to a nondescript demise. No, he's killing them. As in they're being fed. He wants to feed dogs into a machine as going to shred them and repurpose their bodies and their fur into wigs. Wigs. Murder all the dogs, make them into wigs. This is our villain's plot here. So not only is he an asshole werewolf usurper for his family, who turned his nephew into a poodle and is leaving him like that, is going to let him die with the dogs, he also wants to kill all dogs while he's at it and turn them into wigs and make money off their corpses. This is kind of a weird movie. I haven't even gotten to the weird 2-minute long piss joke, or the other expected kids movie fart jokes and animal pooping jokes, and those usual things. The werewolf dad is actually surprised he's not dead. He's alive and has been kept in the basement of this pound for like a couple of years by his uncle, this is getting increasing. Like, wow, that's a lot for the bad guy here. Like, usually this level of bastardness for your villain, this is more than expected. Like, one of these would be plenty for this movie to work with. This has multiple things of bad guys layers to play with here, which they don't do anything with it, obviously, because it's a crappy kids movie, but there's a lot. So I guess points for quantity. The stuff happens, yada yada yada, plot resolves. the kid's lesson is be yourself, yada yada yada, blah 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 blah. He stays being a werepoodle because apparently that's gonna be better overall than a werewolf. But whatever. Uncle defeated, yada yada, and to bring it back here to the one of the two jokes I said I'd get back to. The dog race trader joke is paid off just by him by a long sequence of him seeing a diagram of dogs being fed into this machine and being shredded in the wigs. The dog sees this for like probably about a good hour straight in movie time, and then he's almost killed by the little Chihuahua dog, and he's like, "Fine, I give, I'm sorry," and he runs off. Like, okay, that's weird. All right, that's a payoff, I guess. And then the other payoff I'm going to get back to now, that I'm getting back to now, is the ransom plot, because to bring back to Disney again, the squirrel bit or the stone. So the kid turns into a squirrel. Lady Squirrel shows up. She wants him. He does not want her because he is a human and has shit to go get back to. So that bit is a weirdly sad little moment. Like, oh, it's unrequited love. It's like, oh, well, that's sad. There's a point that makes sense. This one, protagonist kid takes the female protagonist's dog home and keeps her as a pet. This dog that was obviously having a romantic subplot with him, and he went back to being a human who can part-time turn into a poodle when he feels like it. But he's now owning the female character as a pet dog. Usually this kind of movie would do something like, oh hey, something happens and the dog can now turn into a human too, and they're on equal footing. That would be the thing that would make sense for a kid's movie plot. He keeps her as a dog, as his pet. This is kind of a weird movie. So yeah, this is a film. It's not good. Kind of interesting and odd decisions it makes. Not good. Just kind of there. I've seen far, far worse kids' movies. Like, this is not the bottom of the barrel here. This is a barrel. It's a weird barrel, but we're not in the bottom of it. There is still other crap on top of it, it is in the higher echelons of this barrel crap. It's still probably not worth your time. I only watch it because I'm a TF addict. I'm very easy to get into something. If you just show me a transformation, I'm like, oh, someone turned into an animal. Oh, or someone grew a tail. Okay, you're probably gonna get my attention at this point. That's my fault. Mm-hmm. So I would say also the transformation in this movie, they're nothing. They're just poofs. Poof, you're a poodle. Poof, you're a werewolf. Poof, you're back to a poodle or human or whatever. So that's another like, oh, great. I watched this and didn't even get a TF. Fuck you. Anyways, it's a skip. Kira, if you're curious or if you have a poodle Sona, I guess you could watch it. There are worse things to do with your time. But if you never even think about this movie again, also good. And apparently it had a TV series afterwards. What? Why? That's my answer here. Why? Yes. Adios. Bye-bye. It'd be to say hello. Go watch Oliver and Company. That's a better movie. Villain is cooler. Better plot. Good songs. Villain dies in a hilariously hard manner. Like, woo, Nelly. Anyways, good night. Boots. I'm gonna go jump on a car and sing a musical number as I'm taken across the back of the city here until the car hits the brakes hard and I'm ejected off the top of the roof and just like roll into a sewer. That feels like what's going to happen to me in here, and that's fine. I'm okay with that.